every other religion and cult started with the story of one person. Nobody, none of these people who brought their book or brought their claims to the public were able to supply even one sufficient proof that the angel spoke to them or God really gave them a book or a mission. None of them. I'll give you an example. Obviously, we don't have time to waste on reviewing 80,000 religions and cults, so we'll speak about the three major one or the fourth major one. We'll start with Islam. In Islam, the story is that one day Muhammad came and claimed that Angel Gabriel gave him the Quran. And that's how it starts, and he nominated him to be another prophet after all the prophets. He never claimed that what took place until now was incorrect. The opposite. In the Quran, major parts of it speaking about God gave the land to the Jews, and Moses, which they call him Musa, but it's the same person, is the prophet of God. And if we have questions from the Quran, we have to review in the Torah. This is all appear in the Quran. And there's no doubt that the Torah was given to the Jews. He just claimed that he is another prophet of the list. The last one. Did he bring any witness that the angel gave him the Quran? The answer, absolutely not. Not even one witness. Later, when we review the Quran, we find many human errors. And I have all the sources with the surahs where it appears in the Quran. It can be reviewed. So, no witnesses. We're reviewing the book. We see human errors. Is it possible to think that God make such human errors? Let's give one or two examples of what does it mean, human errors. He takes some figures from Judaism, like Pharaoh. It's appeared in the Old Testament, in the Torah. And he's speaking about Pharaoh has a meeting with Haman. Haman was a minister in the time of Persia, in the king Ahasuerus. Haman was born approximately 900 to 1,000 years after the last Pharaoh died. There's 1,000 years difference between the pharaohs and the time of Haman in Persia. Pharaoh was in Egypt, Haman was in Persia. According to the Quran, Surah 40, 36, 37, it says that Pharaoh and Haman and their advisor were sinners. They copied that part right. And Pharaoh told his servants, I know you have no other God but me, which means he made himself God. They learned it also from the Torah. And as we continue, it says that I want you to build me a tower that I can go all the way up, etc., etc. But the point here that Pharaoh and Haman could never see each other. The person who wrote that book made a mistake in the right chronological order of the generations, and he thought that Haman and Pharaoh lived at the same time, and he made up an appointment or a meeting between them, which could never take place. As we continue, another example, we know that in history Moses and Aaron were brothers, and they had one sister, her name was Miriam. And also in history there was another famous Miriam, Maria, Mary, depend what nationality you come from. And this Mary was the mother of Jesus. He's Mary, the mother of JC, which lived approximately 2,000 years ago. In the Quran, in Surah 28, verse 7 to 9, it says, it's speaking about the wife of Pharaoh raising Moses. Now we all know, since the Muslims admit that the Jews received the Torah, in our Torah, which was 2,000 years before, it says that the daughter of Pharaoh, her name was Batya, she's the one who found Moses in the Niles, and she took him out and raised him. Not the wife of Pharaoh, the daughter. They made a mistake, they wrote that she was the wife of Pharaoh. Critical mistake, human error. And she says to the people, after she found the baby, don't kill him. Maybe we will have a need for him. He will come for us. And they give all kinds of examples. But the main thing here is that he could never be the wife of Pharaoh, because it was the daughter of Pharaoh, and he admitted that the Torah was given to the Jews in public. Another mistake, in Surah 19, 27, 28, it says that Virgin Mary, she is the mother of Jesus, according to Christianity, the New Testament. they speak about her in the Quran, and all of a sudden we find out that this Mary, Miriam in Hebrew, she is the same Mary or Miriam that lived 1300 years prior to that. Which Miriam they claim that it's the same Miriam? The sister of Moses and Aaron, which lived 1300 years before. They mix between two different women, that their name is Miriam, and they made them into one person. And they claim now that Mary or Miriam, she brought the baby in her hand to the people of their town, and they say, "Oh, Maria, what did you bring here? You are the sister of Aaron. Your father wasn't a bad man, and your mother was not a prostitute," which means how you became pregnant if you're not married. So they made the mother of JC the sister of Moses. Such critical mistake that even kids in first grade is unlikely to make. And right after that, Surah 66:12, it says, Maria, the daughter of Amram. Amram is the father of Moses and Aaron. So obviously, they mix between those two individuals. And obviously, God cannot make such foolish mistakes. Many other examples, but of course this is not the subject of this lecture. I just use it as an example for us to understand how do we define human errors in a book that claim to be the work of God.